So I did some changes on my Unity setup, and now I want to bring that same as I would if it was the first save up to Banter. I start by doing Save As, make sure that I go to the Scenes folder under Assets, and you can see I've done some previous versions. I'm going to do another one now, so I'm calling it CHAL5. And I hit enter, let it record that. Okay, it's done. Now I go up to Banter because I've already installed the SDK. You can see up here it has CHAL4, but I want my newer version, or if I hadn't had anything I would have an empty space there, but it would be the same. So now I've got to go to Assets, and I have to go to Scenes, and I've got to find my version 5, so that means I got to move this window a bit. Okay, there's my version 5, and I drag it into the blue area and let go and check. It does say 5. Now I've got to make sure my shaders are showing, so I click Select All, and I hit Select All, but I don't see it highlight, so I hit this little arrow there to see it up and down. Now I see my 3 shaders are all highlighted, and I hit Build and continue, and I think I will pause here. Took me about 40 seconds to get that done. Now I can check here, especially if I sort by date. I can see here's my 2 important 5 files, the Chalet 5 here, and actually for some reason the shader one's down there, but those are the only 2 I'm going to need. Now I go to my glitch window, and I'm in this one, and I decided that I want to do number 5, so I'm going up to Assets. You can see I already did quite a few versions, but I want to put in, there's only versions 3 and 4 here. I'm going to go to Files, Upload a File, and then it took me to where my Banter Assets is under the program name, not the assets that are under, let's see, let me show that. Under my folder I have assets, but I also have Banter asset bundles, and if I go to assets there's also, well, no, that's not true, so forget that. You just go to next to, on the same hierarchy as assets, you've got Banter bundles. Check the date to see that everything is reasonable, that it was done 2 minutes ago. And now I'm going to, I see the shader one first, so I'll double click that. I've got my Shal5 shader, and now I go right back to Files. I need the 2 files, so I go to Files, Add a File, and look for the plain old Shal5, which I guess was up here. Shal5 Android manifest. You don't need the manifest, you need the one that is just Shal5 Android. Okay, now those 2 are done. I find them down here, and I go to start with the Android one. Doesn't matter, but I'll start with that. I click it once. Oh, I'm sorry, I better change something first. Before I do that, I'll go to my index, and I prefer taking the index file, and in this case I'm taking the older index file, and I'm clicking on it, and I'm doing Control A just to get my index file highlighted, and Control C for copy. And then I personally found that I have less problems because weird things happen when I don't do it this way. I go to Notepad, a blank notepad, and I paste it in there. And then I'm going to be replacing these numbers with the new file. So I go back, and I go back to Assets, and I start with one of the 2 files, click it once, and when that comes up I hit copy URL twice, so I see that I've copied it for sure. Close it. I do Alt Tab to get back to my window here, and I'm going to replace the previous version with what it had there. So I'm just going right here to the HTTPS. I leave the semicolon, put that in, see that it now says shal5 here, but it does says another file on the other one, so I'm getting myself ready there. Go back to the folder, find the one with the shader, click it, hit my copy URL once, twice. That's my superstition to do it twice. And then Alt Tab again, and now I'm highlighting this and Control V to paste. Now I take the whole thing in Notepad, do Control A and Control C, and then the last step is to go back to the HTML and click in the center, do Control A there and Control V, and we're done. Don't have to do anything else, don't even have to move out this screen. Should be able to put the headset on and it should work right away.